Demo, we will be looking at the latest AI feature called CoPilot and how it works seamlessly with Power Platform. Microsoft released AI-powered Copilot recently across all Microsoft solutions such as Office 365, Excel, Teams, Outlook, SharePoint, Power BI, and Power Platform to improve the user's productivity and to automate their business processes. Power Platform, as such, is a low-code platform, helps you to build business solution, business app for personal productivity, departmental apps, and also mission critical apps. Now, Copilot helps you even more in terms of providing you the design, the table format, the data format, and the layout for you to quickly get started. Assume this as a jump start of building a solution when you do not know where to start from. The Copilot will help you to build the apps automatically. All you have to do is use the Copilot, and of course, you would have to do some design theming in terms of bringing your logos and pictures where required. It kind of solves at least 65% of your dev efforts, and we will show you how it all works together. Solution components used in this demo are Power Platform components, AI and Copilot components. It's still in preview, so some of you may not have access just yet, but the GA or the general availability would be released soon. The Copilot uses Dataverse as the backend, but after you build the app, you can change that Dataverse into backend data systems such as Azure SQL or your on-prem servers or your third-party servers using Power Platform Premium connectors. Let's head on to the demo. I'm on my Power Platform instance here, and you would only see this top part of the solution if you are enabled with the preview feature. Otherwise, you wouldn't see that. You need to hit make.preview.powerapps.com. Like I said, it's still in preview and there could be some mistakes, but it kind of helps you to get the job done. Now let's go ahead and build an app using Copilot. We wouldn't be using code. I wouldn't be typing any integration component or even the table that I need, the table structure, the file format, or anything that I need to build an app. Everything would be on a Copilot mode from here on. So for this demo, let's say we want to build a asset tracking app. Now you could key in anything that you want to build. Build a library management solution, build a desk desk and place reservation system, or anything for that matter. As you can see, within few seconds, the Copilot has built the layout, if you will, in terms of asset management app. It gives me the format with data and columns, and it also gives me demo data, for example, asset ID, asset name, type, and serial number. And it also gives me the status of those assets. Now, you could interact with Copilot if you want to make an addition or deletion. It's totally possible. You just tell the Copilot what to do, and it will do it for you. Let's take a look at status. If you look at status and if I look at view columns, you would see there's only two status, active and inactive. I want to know, or I want to add a status which says others. Okay. So in here, it's like a chatbot talking to the AI model and telling it to do what you want to do and how the app should look like. And here's some suggestion of keywords. If you are not familiar on what to key in here, you can use some of these suggestions as well. Add a column, add a row, change the type and stuff like that. Now let's get back to this example. I want to add a status called others. So I'm going to say the Copilot add another status called others. and the system does that for you. And if I go back to status view column, you could see here others which wasn't there before. So like this, you could make any changes that you want, add, delete, remove, based on your preference, and Copilot would do for you. It's actually building an app with the preview mode with Dataverse at the back end. Once you're done, click on Create App, it would create. Before we do that, we want to do a few more changes as well. If you want to add a column, for example, I have the serial number, I have the status, and I have asset IDs and stuff like that. What I also want to add is user who will be using this app and consuming those assets, right? So I'm going to tell bot to add another column named users. And the system will go ahead and add that column here, which wasn't there before. And you could see it also added some dummy data, which means once the app is created, you have a working app about 70% complete, which solves your development time. Now, if you want to go ahead and keep changing stuff that you want to, you could. Let's do one more change. In this case, we have two choices, hardware and software. Let's add one more. I'm saying please add mechanical as another option to your subtype. You only have hardware and software, and we already saw that. Let's double check one more time, hardware and software. And it's done. And if you go to asset type and look at view column, you would have that choice of mechanical added. Now, before we create an app, I want to change the name of the app. Of course, I could click on this and change it, but you want the Copilot to do it for you because when you roll this out in your environment with your users, you could define any app that's created should have a pre-text and a post-text in terms of app naming convention, right? So that's where this could be helpful. What I would say now is change the name of the app to Spoke Asset Tracking. So the system automatically has changed the name of the app. As you can see at the top, it was Asset Tracking before, and it's now Coke Asset Tracking. So likewise, the options are endless. You can keep playing on this, changes, additions that you want in an app. I'll stop here and click on Create App. Give it a couple of minutes or a minute or so. The system is building, or the Copilot is building this app for me with those columns, tables, and data with Dataverse at the backend. When the app gets created, and it is right now, you have two options. One is you get a homepage of the app where the user can still query on the app, and then the actual app itself. I believe this is really a breakthrough technology, if you will, to make users' time much productive. And I'll show you what I mean by talking right now. You have a business case in the app or a solution, and that would have some data, and you could query that data even before you can get into the app. You could just stay on a form on the homepage, and you could query those detail, and that's what this particular page does to you. Let's close this screen here for a while. I'll be on here. So this is the home page, and it's optional for you to have it or remove it. You click on here and delete, it will go off. And this is the actual app that was built by Copilot. As you can see, you have those assets, you have those status and stuff like that. Now, before we look into the app, let's let's play this one and click on home. And this is what I was talking about. You could ask questions either here or you could ask questions here, and you could continue to develop the app in a more robust way that you want to. For example, there are already questions listed here, which is the most common asset used by users. And that is coming from this asset tracking app where you have hardwares, desktop, printer, laptop. And it could be anything based on your business use cases, right? But you have this niche AI powered insights where you don't need to do anything. It is all automatically available for you. I want to know what's the status of the asset ID 80001. Now I could go to the app and look at this one, 80001, which says active. But how about you have to query millions of record in a production environment and thousands of logic that's available and thousands of product that's available. You don't have to build those logic. And you could simply use this particular home screen and click on this, and the system would go and tell you the updates, right? As a type of printer is and hardware. And likewise, you can keep on questioning or ask questions to the app via Copilot, and it will give you those answers. Thought it was pretty cool. As you can see here, the status of asset ID 80004 is active, and that's what you would see in the app when you click on asset ID 80004, which says it's active. Now you could keep configuring and changing stuff the way you want to, like your normal development mode. If you want to do that, that's totally possible. Just want to show you the glimpse of Copilot in Power Apps. Of course, you can again ask questions and make changes to the app that you want to. And even within the app, when you start building those properties, you could use Copilot. For example, if you come to the development screen here, you could ask ideas and questions you want to in places where it is relevant. For example, if I go into Coke screen and if I click on here, you could ask questions, right? You want to add a gallery and stuff like that. That's totally possible, and the system would do it. Well, finally, you wanted to make sure that the app looks relevant for your business users. And if you want to add another data sets, that's totally possible. If you wanted to insert a media or a file or a logo, you just use the traditional development process by click and grab or drag and drop method as you normally do, and the app would take those inputs as well. So it's not all completely handled by Copilot. You also, or you definitely have the ownership to make changes the way that you want to and to build those apps the way it looks like. As you can see here, I just added this logo as a normal configuration process, and you could do all those changes. So the point I'm trying to drive here is you have the control, and Copilot is your friend who can do a lot of work for you without you have to do anything. And if I run this in play mode, this is the actual app, and you can give this inside screen to your users. If you don't want, that's totally fine. You just need to remove this home screen. But we strongly recommend, at least I strongly recommend, that you give this option so there's a lot of insight the user can quickly get even before going and seeing inside the app and what this app data looks like. I thought this one feature could be a game changer because time is of essence, productivity is of essence, and streamlining operation is core priority. And as you can see, I only took 5 to 10 minutes to build a simple asset tracking app without doing anything and let the Copilot do all the work for me. And I just have to manage some of those design themes, logos, and stuffs like that, and it is ready to go into production. Now, if you want to take a look at where the data is stored, it's stored in Dataverse, and the system automatically creates the data stores as well. All you have to do is create those security groups and profiles and configure that and let the user access it, and you're done creating a business solution app for asset tracking without writing a code, without doing much of a stuff yourself, but let the copilot do it for you. I thought this was cool and really proactive. Before we end this demo, I just want to summarize what we just saw today on this demo. Copilot powered app building process, simplify, streamline, and also avoid errors when you create those business app. The Copilot gives you the right suggestions based on millions of transformation model that's available within the Azure AI solution. And you could go live in terms of go to market in days and weeks time rather than months and years. The niche feature is still in preview, so there could be some mismatch and mistakes, but 80% I've tested that it definitely does what it does. And it's really helpful for pro developers like me to use this functionality to shorten my time to look for some help outside the open source. So you have everything in there to successfully build a production solution app using Power Platform CoPilot. When you get the hands on the preview, I suggest you give it a try, and I'm sure you wouldn't be disappointed. I hope this was useful and insightful. Thank you.